Alrighty, welcome to the MJ and Ty podcast show. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, whenever you're tuning in. All right, so today is March 18th, 2021. We've got quite a lot of things to talk about today, actually. As I'm sure you all know, the NFL free agency has just opened up, and there's already been a lot of moves. But first, there's one thing that we got to get out of the way, definitely, and that's Drew Brees' retirement. All
Who's
right, so talking
going?
about getting things out of the way, I'll go first.
All right, now go ahead.
All right, so Drew Brees spent what 19 seasons as in the
15.
end 15.
15.
He spent 15 with the Saints, didn't he?
Yeah, 15 with the Saints, 20 season.
Yeah, so still not quite as long as Tom Brady, but it's still impressive, but impressively long. Like he's definitely a Hall of Famer for sure. Like, uh, it's going to be weird seeing either Taysom Hill or famous Jameis as a turnover bakery at the helm in New Orleans and not Drew Brees. What are your thoughts, Ty?
My thoughts are okay. So I thought after. Let me just go back to this. So I thought after the Tampa Bay Saints game, that would be his last game
I think
because
we all saw that coming
we
from. I think we all saw that coming actually.
we all knew that I felt I didn't want to bring this up when we were talking about the NFL playoffs because I didn't want to jinx anything like you jinx a lot of stuff.
Hey,
Um
watch yourself. It may be true, but watch yourself.
you do jinx a lot of stuff.
I'm not
Um
denying it.
don't deny it.
I'm not denying it.
But let me get back to my take. Um
I'd hope you would.
watch it. Um so what I'm trying to say is he played 15 seasons there because he was actually, I think, drafted by the Chargers, if I'm not mistaken.
That'd be correct.
Um, but I think he played 15 seasons there and 20 seasons with 15 seasons with the Saints and 20 seasons in the NFL. He will go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks. Yeah, we can say Tom Brady's in that discussion. Peyton
Of course he
Manning's
is.
in that discussion. Joe Montana's in that discussion. We can say
Baker
that,
Mayfield might be
but
in it soon. Hopefully.
hopefully, hopefully, you're already jinxing it.
No, I just knocked on
Um,
wood.
um, but I would say I think it was a good decision on his part. It was just kind of nice that his kids announced it because I know it might been kind of tough for him. Um, but like, here's one thing that I can point out. Um, once players retire, like like I think fans will miss them, and players when they retire will miss the game and the locker room and the camaraderie. Um,
Oh, for sure.
so like playing 20 seasons, that's great for them. Um, I I didn't want to say this, but I had him playing until he was like 60. I'm just going to say that.
That's Tom Brady's plan.
I think that was Drew Brees playing too. But that's my take. Like I said, 20 seasons. I think this was a good. It's a tough decision when players
Yeah.
retire because you never know, like who's like we can say there's a lot we can go on and on who played 21 seasons, 20 seasons, go down that route, but we don't.
Right.
But playing 20 seasons, that's amazing.
Yeah. All right. So, speaking of quarterbacks that have been in the league for a while, the Bears just signed Andy Dalton. Now, is Andy Dalton going to lead the Bears to the promised land and possibly a playoff victory? Probably not.
Do
Like
you do you let me ask you this. Do you think he's better than Nick Foles?
then Nick Foles, maybe a little better. Well, yeah, I do. And considering that for a while Nick Foles was the backup to your beloved Carson Wentz.
Hey, like I said, I don't have anything. I don't have I know we I didn't cover this, but I don't have like I'm not a Carson Wentz fan. A lot of people think I am. But I'm not. Sorry, Eagles fans. Um, I do think he's a
Carson
good.
Wentz is with the Colts now.
Yeah, I know, but I would say I'm not very high on Carson Wentz. I'm not.
That's fair.
But back what you were saying.
All right, so I do not think that Andy Dalton is really going to get the Bears anywhere. Because, well, if Andy Dalton was in his prime, okay, I'd say I believe it. I'd say I believe you, but that's not the Andy Dalton that we have today. Today's Andy Dalton is likely not going to get it done for the Bears. I mean, you're in a division with Aaron Rodgers and Jared Goff. And now, the caveat or the asterisk there is obviously the Lions are still in rebuilding mode, but we'll see where they are. We'll see where they are after the draft. All right, so do you think that Andy Dalton will lead the Bears to the promised land?
I Okay, I think Bears will get mad. Bear fans will get mad at us, but I just want to say this to our listeners and
Oh yeah.
to everybody that watches our show and stuff like that.
If
We're
there's
just
if there's anything that upsets you, like our DMs are open. Like, come on.
our we're just saying to what's on our minds and our opinions. So I just want to get that out of the way. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Think of us as kind of uh, think of us as kind of like calling cowards, where we just speak our minds, and that's all we want to do.
that I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now, Now back to my take. Do I think Andy Dalton is a starting quarterback? Um, no. Can he lead the Bears to a Super Bowl? I don't think so. I definitely don't think so. I think he's a backup quarterback for Nick Foles or whoever is going to be the Bears quarterback.
Oh, now you're
Uh,
just taking shots at people.
huh?
Now you're just taking shots at people.
I'm not taking shots. Come on, man. I'm not taking shots.
Ty, are you a pot stirrer?
No. I'm just saying my take. Okay?
All right.
Um, but the Bears haven't had a Super Bowl like until 1985, something like that. If I'm correct on that.
I think it was 1986, but yeah, close enough.
But I would say I don't think I think he's a backup quarterback. He could be a starter somewhere else, but that's my take. I don't think he can lead the Bears to the Super Bowl.
All right.
I know you're putting your hand on top of your head, like, oh,
Okay. Sticking with the free agent signings, the Browns made a lot of them, and some of them were actually pretty good. Like, bravo, Andrew Barry. Like, obviously, the big one, and the biggest one so far is John Johnson III, followed by re-signing Rashard Higgins. Although I do think that they probably should have signed him to a few more years. Like, however many years they plan to keep Baker for, is what I'm saying. And then there was Tack McKinley.
that's your take.
Not quite. I do think that John Johnson will definitely provide some help at safety. And obviously, we still have to see just how good Grant Delpit is in the NFL. And and yeah, John Johnson III is going to be a well. Hopefully, he's going to be a living nightmare for the Ravens and whoever else we played this season, which is a lot of good teams.
Okay, so my take, my take. Okay, so here's my thing on it. This is a good signing for us. I definitely think bringing Higgins back, that's a good sign. Because Baker, we all knew that him and Baker had a connection in the playoffs.
Daniel
Um,
Sorensen and Rashard Higgins also had a connection with their helmets.
you gonna bring that up?
Sure, why not?
So are we blaming the Chiefs now?
For that loss? I thought that's what Browns fans were doing all along. Well, LA's putting part of the blame on that. Anyways, you may continue with the rest of your take.
All right. So I do think we got a little bit help on defense. Because we needed more defense. We needed more defense. Um, I think, as free agency rolls around, we might get some more defense players. We might get some new players like the Browns. they're good for the future because you got Baker, you got um Miles Garrett locked up, you got Higgins locked up. Um, who else? You got Jarvis Landry.
Got
Who else?
Odell Beckham,
Beckham. So
Donovan
like
Peoples Jones.
you got all those pieces.
Yeah.
Um, but you need more pieces to the puzzle.
Oh, yeah. And also you've got David Njoku who got $6 million of guaranteed money.
Yup, because he said he would like to stay at Browns. I knew I didn't want to jinx it or anything like you do. Um, but
Hey.
but I knew they would resign him. Um, so like I think I think like in the draft we're probably going to look at more defense players, more offense players, more receivers. Like I think the Browns are good for the future. Like I'm not going to like they're good. They're good. Would you agree?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Actually, we'll have to see what 2021 holds for the Browns. But I'd like to say yes. On paper, the answer would be yes. But it's the Browns. Like, and speaking of Browns, or should I say former Browns, the Bengals just signed Larry Ogunjobi. Are you really going to miss him that much?
Um, why you start?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm probably not going to miss him very much. But we'll see where we are in the draft. Like, if we get a good linebacker in the draft, I'm just simply not going to miss him too much. It seems like he really only started making plays when Myles Garrett was brought into the equation. And a lot of that's because Miles is constantly double or triple teamed. So I, although it is a little hard to see a long term, or although it is a little hard to see a guy that's been in Brown for a couple years go to a rival, I do think we can replace him.
Okay, so I will. Let me just say this: he's a good player. He's a good player. I think some of us will miss him. You know,
Yeah.
some of us will miss him. Um, but all I can say is that he was a great player. Like you said, going to a rival, that's tough. That's tough. Like being traded to a rival team or being signing with a rival team, that's tough. Either one is tough.
Yep. Yep.
Because you don't know what you're going to get once you play at your former home field. You don't know what you're going to get. Yeah, you might, if you sign with a rival, yeah, you might get booed. But I don't think Browns fans, us, we won't boo them. Um, but he's a good player. But I think when you look, you can agree with me on this because we both play sports. When you
Yep.
look, when when you are in a position where there's teams lined up that want you to play for them, and if you decide to sign with your rival, that's tough because you don't know what your basically what the fans that your former team will play will give you. Um, but I think there won't be no hard feelings from Miles Garrett or Baker. Um, once he returns, once he faced Cleveland, but it's it's basically a good signing for the Bengals. I can say that. But at the end of the day, it's tough to go to a rival team because you're going into a different locker room, um a different locker room, not the same locker room.
Right.
So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
All righty. That's going to do it for this episode of the MJ and Ty podcast show. Thank you all so much for listening, and do do not forget to leave a comment down below if you would have a topic that you want us to discuss next week. And we could also don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, share this video. Actually, like all our videos, and share them all. Everything you do to interact with us really helps grow our channel, which is something that we both really want. All right. See you all next week, and remember to keep your head in the game.